What if success isn't the goal, but obedience is? Most of us, we measure our lives by results. Is it working? Is it growing? Is anything changing? And when the answer feels like no, that's when frustration shows up, right? That's when you start wondering, what's the point? But what if you're measuring the wrong thing? What if God isn't asking, is it working? But instead, are you being faithful? Good morning, and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote or a scripture. And this one today, it shifts the focus completely. When someone has been given much, much will be required in return. And when someone has been entrusted with much, even more will be required. That's found in Luke chapter 12, verse 48. In the New Living Translation of the Bible. Notice what that says. It doesn't talk about results. It talks about responsibility, what you've been given, what you've been trusted with. So maybe today isn't about seeing progress. Maybe it's about being faithful with what's already in your hands, because obedience is never wasted. Let's live it out today.
God just reminded me to remind you that whenever you are given the opportunity to make someone's life just a little bit better, carpe diem, seize the moment. If God puts you in a situation where you can make a simple compliment like, gee, you look very nice today, or how are you? How is your family? I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your friendship. Sometimes we forget how important these little simple gestures are to people. So today, as long as it's sincere and you feel it from your heart, let people know that you appreciate them. And you encourage them to keep doing the best that they can do and that God sees them too. So remember, never pass up the opportunity to tell someone, hey, you're doing a great job and you look great. Peace, love, and out.
Hey, just in case you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, for listening to this podcast. I've got to let you know something. You just heard me use a term I'd use on the radio. You see, today's podcast episode is brought to you from a live radio show. I'm on from 6 to 10 Monday through Friday, Central Time, and you can hang out with me whenever you'd like. Here's how to do it. Go to 885jfm.com, click the On Now button, and press play. Otherwise, well, you're probably going to hear me pitch to some music. And, you know, I can't play the music for you on the podcast. There are copyright problems, legal issues. Anyway, I've still made a way for you to enjoy the music. I've got a Spotify playlist and a separate song list in today's description. If you would, go and check that out, today's podcast description. You'll also find something else there called the Family Edition link, and that's going to take you to the expanded version of the show. It's got a lot more features in it. It's got some more of the behind the scenes between the songs, some shout outs, some music talk, stuff like that. And that can be found by just following that link. It's on YouTube unlisted, so the link is really the only way for you to find it. I think that's it for now. Yeah, I'll be back probably at the end of the show with a few more pointers for you. But besides that, just let me say again, whether you're a first-time listener or you've been here for a while, thank you so much for listening. It means a lot you're here. If you would, share us with somebody today, somebody who needs some encouragement. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. All right, let's get back to the show. If I'm being honest, I've got to say, I wish we had a functioning scoreboard at the soccer fields, because when we're playing our game, there's so much stuff going on. We're coaching these kids. We're telling them to float up, drop back, push toward the ball. All right, separate, pass it up the field, cross, clear it. I mean, there are all kinds of demands coming from the sideline, right? And all of that shuffles. Sometimes I forget what the score is. It's like, are we tied? Are we down by 1 or 2? Are we up by 3 or 4? We just had our second game of the season the other day, and unfortunately we lost. But you know what? Sometimes that losing well, it inspires you to do better the next time. So that's how we're approaching it. We're fueling these kids forward. So we're going to work on some stuff at practice tomorrow night, and we're going to go out there and get them on Saturday during the game. That's the plan right now. But the scoreboard, sometimes in life, we look at the scoreboard, don't we? And we look at it for a few of the wrong reasons. Sometimes we rely too heavily on the scoreboard, on the results, and less on the what's getting us to those results. So I want to unpack that a little bit with you after this next song. Joel Modis reached out and said, "Hey, Stephen, could you play some Brownsville Revival music? I've been missing it." Yes, sir. Man, I love playing this music. I grew up on it. So here it is. We Will Ride. All right, so we got a bunch of kids in the car ready to go to school, and we got a bunch of parents driving those kids, and maybe it's grandma or grandpa, maybe it's aunt or uncle or cousin, or I don't know who it is, but we got some adults, we got some kids, and I got myself a captive audience because you're waiting for that car line to start, aren't you? So then I get to talk to you right now. So hey, let's do this thing because you see, I've been assistant coaching a soccer team. And yes, scores are very important. Sometimes I forget what the score is because we don't have a scoreboard. But if we did have a scoreboard, would I be looking up there too often? Would I be putting too much emphasis on the score itself and less emphasis on what it takes to get that score on that board? Ooh, we're about to dive deep, y'all. Let's talk about it because this is something I think that's relevant for adults and for students, for children, and their parents. So I think we have a scoreboard problem. We keep checking to see how things are going, like there's supposed to be a number that's changing, right? For you kids, maybe it's grades. Or in sports, hey, it's stats. Yeah, everyday life, social media. If you're a content creator, it's followers. And for everybody, it's results, right? And if nothing is moving, then we assume that nothing is happening. But some of the most important things you do don't show up on a scoreboard. No. Choosing not to say something you could have said, showing up when it would have been easier not to, doing something right when nobody's paying attention. No number changes when you do that. But that doesn't mean it didn't count. It just means you're not the one keeping score. Ooh. So if today feels like nothing's moving, maybe you're just looking at the wrong scoreboard. So if we're looking at the wrong scoreboard, what are we supposed to be watching? Not numbers, not outcomes, not how fast something is growing, but things like this. Did you do what you knew was right, even when it would have been easier not to? Did you show up when you didn't feel like it? Did you stay consistent, even when it felt unnoticed? Because that's the kind of thing God pays attention to. Not just what happens, but how you handled it. And I want you to remember that today, okay? All right. I think that's going to get you fueled up and ready for today, for a great day at school. And you know what? I think maybe it is going to be a good day. Let's let Forrest Frank sing about that, and I'll be back. You don't have a results problem. You might have an audience problem. Because most of us live like we're being watched by people. We think about how it looks, how it's going, what it produces, what people would say if they saw it. But in Luke chapter 12, Jesus keeps bringing everything back to one thing. What's hidden, what's real, and what God sees. And then he says this, when you've been given much, much is required. That's not about performance. That's about accountability. It's not, did people notice, or did it work? It is, were you faithful with what I gave you? And here's what hits. You can look successful to people and still be unfaithful to God. And you can look like nothing's happening and be exactly where God wants you to be. Because he's not measuring what's visible so much, is he? He's measuring what's real. So maybe the question isn't, is this working? Maybe it's, who am I doing this for? Why am I doing this in the first place? Who am I trying to please? Think about that. He's entrusted us with so much. It's a weighty responsibility. I mean, just look at the Great Commission, right? Not the Great Suggestion. Go into all the world, preach the gospel, baptize. I mean, that is a weighty responsibility if you look at it like that. If you realize that, hey, bringing life to people who don't have it is more of a privilege than a burden, you begin to do it a little easier. It becomes less of a struggle. When you realize that you are called to share what you have. It's not like money that you have to just store up and you just keep storing it up. No, it's not like that at all. In fact, here, I just want to read you a verse from Luke chapter 12, the same chapter that our Word of Life comes from today. It's verse 21. Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God. That's the perspective that we all need. Who is our audience? It's a deep question. So I want you to ask yourself. I want you to say, self, who is your audience? We all need that inventory from time to time. It's a challenge, but it's worth it. It helps us to put things in perspective. Every now and then you need some really good advice from a familiar voice. Let's see if you can guess who this voice belongs to and see if you could take the advice at the same time. Here, take a listen to this.
My advice to you today is to start that thing. You know, that thing you have been avoiding, that thing? Yeah, maybe it is, doing the laundry. Or, exercising. Or finally responding to that awkward text you keep marking as unread. You know the one. And remember, you do not need to do it all at once. Just take one small step, and the next step will feel a little easier. I promise. Except for that text thing. That one is a doozy. Good luck with that.
A little advice from Grover. Yeah, we could all use a little advice, couldn't we? Now, I'd like to play a song for Richard Udi. He requested this one a few minutes ago. Sorry I wasn't able to get it on earlier for you, sir, but here it is. It's Elevation Worship and Resurrecting right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. After everything that had happened, after the cross, after the confusion, after the questions that still hadn't been answered, Peter did what a lot of us do when life doesn't make sense. He went back to what he knew, back to what felt familiar, back to fishing. And all night long, they worked, cast after cast, effort after effort, and nothing. Empty nets, no results, no progress, just the quiet frustration of doing everything you know to do and it not working. And I can't help but wonder if Peter felt more than just tired that morning. Maybe discouraged, maybe unsure, maybe wondering what all of this meant now. And then, as the sun starts to rise, there's a voice from the shore. They don't even recognize him at first. Just a simple question. Have you caught anything? No? And then try again on the other side. No explanation, no big speech, just obedience. And when they did, the nets filled more than they could handle. But here's what gets me. Jesus was already there. Before the catch, before the results, before anything changed, he was on the shore waiting for them. Which means the miracle wasn't just the fish. It was the reminder that even when it feels like nothing is working, even when you go back to what's familiar, even when your nets come up empty, God hasn't left. He's closer than you think, already working, providing, preparing what you can't see yet. Wow, that's today's takeaway. This is day 44 of From Ashes to Glory. Let's keep walking. Hey, I just wanted to hop on and thank you for listening all the way to the end of today's episode. Hey, there is a Spotify poll. If you would go and answer that question for me, I greatly appreciate it. And I would love to, showcase your response on tomorrow's show. So it's on Spotify. You can check it out right there. Anything else I need to pass along? The invitation is always open. If you want to hang out with me live, 885jfm.com. Click the On Now button and press play. I'm on from 6 to 10, Monday through Friday, Central Time. Also, that family edition is going to be in today's description. Check that one out, especially if you like some extra features, some shout outs, and some music talk. We do that from time to time. So I think that wraps it up. Subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again.